sure we move quick. If I'm on my feet, we stay moving. All right. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'm Anthony Geha. I'm from all the way in California. It took me, what's today? 3 days to feel like I'm rested. So today you got full Anthony. Hopefully I will meet all demands here. We're going into buyer strategy, showings to sold, guiding buyers with clarity and strategy. I want to do quickly, introduce yourself, say something fun. You don't have to say like numbers and stuff, that's kind of boring, but let's hear it. Keep it.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristin Scanlon. I am at Keller Williams Gold Coast in Manhasset. I represent Queens and Long Island. I went from being a part-time agent to a full-time agent about 6-7 years ago. And what I'm really passionate about is creating a life by design. I recently got into coaching. I empower agents to really look at their business, run it like a business, so that they can live a life that they love. And I've been actively doing it, taking some big trips in the last few years.
How you doing at Albano? Keller Williams here in White Plains. Been doing this for 21 years, so I have seen the good, bad, and the ugly. 2008, the good times in 2015, and now this crazy market.
Hi everyone, I'm Sperling. I'm with EXP and EMC Homes. I've been doing this for about 5 years, having come from a communications and marketing background. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. I really love it. I really love showing them the ropes. I think it's fun to be honest with them and sort of that transparency that the previous panel was speaking to before is one of my specialties in terms of guiding them through the process. And so it's really what I'm today.
I'm Dylan Casoria, and so I've been in the business for about 3 years now, 2 years on the buyer's agent role, and I also work a lot with first-time home buyers, and I find it to be a pretty rewarding experience. I enjoy, getting to that final stage and getting someone in that home and seeing their happy faces.
Hi, I'm Christiana Barile. I'm from Westchester, New York, but I am in Philadelphia now. I've been selling in Philadelphia for almost 10 years now.
Thank you guys. Full transparency, I am related to Bill. And I had to disclose that for legal purposes.
And I'm going to go the day he was born.
All right, so I'm going to ask a couple. We are kind of behind, so I'm going to try to speed it up. We can keep our answers sort of shorter to the point. If you do have something really funny to say, though, make sure you say that. So we'll start here. What's one tactic you use to help buyers stay confident and decisive in today's market? And you can start on the other side.
So for me, I don't go out with any buyer unless I do a buyer consult. I host them via Zoom. I have a presentation and take them from where they are. I get to learn about them. They get to learn about me, but then I also explain each step of the process so that they know what they're getting into in this competitive market.
Yep, buyer consultation. Also, Eva touched on it, talking to them about expectations, what the market looks like today, and then going through the commitment process so that they can compete with cash buyers.
Yeah, I completely agree with both things that you both said. I think prepping them from the get-go is really important, especially in this market, which we've all had challenges, but making sure they understand the process and know what they're getting into and know that you can be their trusted partner is really important.
I think for me, it's more knowing the buyer and what their personality is like first is the most important thing for me, because not everybody's going to react the same way to different things. Some people are really overwhelmed by the documents and all that stuff, and some people sign them right away. So I think getting to know them and understanding how they respond to things best is my first step.
Agree with what everyone said, buyer consult, and I just always err on the side of honesty and transparency. I am as honest and transparent as they come, and during my buyer consult, I let my clients know when you work with me, it's as if I'm buying a house. So if I'm not going to make this kind of investment that you are, because something's wrong with the roof, we do a lot of new construction, so I know how to find shoddy new construction, and I let clients know, hey, I wouldn't move forward with this house. I don't think it's a good one for you to move forward with. Let's keep it moving.
I think those things are really powerful too. Like you're being honest right away, showing the fault. That's just going to adhere them to you for the long haul. So really awesome, guys. So in terms of setting those clear expectations, do you have a way about it to avoid delays and frustration down the line? Is there something you're saying, or perhaps a go-to about the market you're in that's, you must share with them?
I would say it's necessarily sharing, but more like the first experience. So after the initial buyer consult, one of the first things I like to do is we show probably, my first showing, I try to show like 5 or 6 very different homes within their budget and what their needs are. And not only the ones that they're excited to see, but the ones that I think they should see for whatever reason, whether it is a surprise or an opportunity for them they might not have thought of, or a type of home that they're like, oh, I really don't like this home, but there's some other positives about it that might overshadow that style. I think it's important to sort of open their eyes a little bit from the get-go, and then I think it builds that trust so as you're sending them things, you're telling them why this might be a good fit for them, they might lean into that a little bit more.
One of the things I like to do to set the expectation is to talk about the current market and what's going on. And for us currently here, everything's moving pretty quickly. And I think some buyers are a little hesitant, especially the first-time home buyers. They don't want to jump into it right away. They're a little bit afraid to just start putting offers in. But once you get them to understand that they're going to lose out on homes if they don't act quickly, they start to warm up to it. And getting them to know that inspectors and things like that are coming next, and you need to have that lined up is something that gets them ready for the next steps.
I would say for me, it kind of goes back to that buyer consult of just fully outlining everything and going the step-by-step process. And the whole time along the way, I'm just letting my clients know, like, I am here to hold your hand, have no fear. This morning I just got a client under contract who I've never met before, and I FaceTimed him to let him know, like, hey, it was a bidding war, but we got it. So again, I think just like staying close, and also Pennsylvania is a not attorney-friendly state, so that also really helps. We rarely have any hiccups.
How did you, I want to ask a question about that. Was it text, did phone call, text, Zoom, did you?
No, I FaceTimed him.
Okay.
I literally just FaceTimed him from the bathroom. And I said it was like, it's kind of a habit that I do when I put my clients under contract. I always FaceTime them to like see their excitement and expression. I was like, I know we've never met, so here I am.
Wow. All right. Good for you. That's awesome. You guys come soon.
Just communication is key. We all talk about buyer consultation, but we know once we get buyers out there looking at properties, things can flip, things can change, and having that conversation with them, like, hey, you guys said you wanted this style home. You said you didn't want to do it work. Has that changed? Because they're looking at your needs and wants analysis. We showed you these houses. You're not ready to pull the trigger. Are you serious, or are we changing something in what we're looking at?
So to add to that is really we both have to be communicating with each other, but then I always tell buyers the 80-10-10 rule. If the house has 80% of what you want, 10% of things you could change, 10% of things you can live with, it's usually a winner, unless you're gonna fund building a house from the ground up.
Yeah, I like that. And you said the needs and wants analysis, so you're kind of holding them to what they've already written down. What would you say? Yeah. Awesome. All right, let's see the time. All right, go over a bit. Five-ish. All right, we're gonna go to a more fun one, I should say. Share a time when a buyer was stuck or hesitant. How did you move the deal forward without pressure? Or if you had like some sort of catastrophe in the contract.
So I just actually had that a couple weeks ago. Obviously, in Queens and Long Island, it's hard to find anything under $500,000 right now, and a few of my clients are first-time home buyers with lower budgets. And they were really frustrated and stressed. But what I explained to them is either you have to look at a home where you're gonna put $100,000 of work in it, or buy the home for $100,000 more already done, and you really have to look at what's most important for you. And if you're not ready right now, right, work with a financial planner, work with your lender, and really get yourself set up for success so that you're more confident in making this decision.
So, plenty of frustrated buyers out there right now. I actually had a VA client come over from working with somebody for 6 months previous, and we talked about that commitment letter going through the underwriting process. And the first time we went out, we got the accepted offer. Was my first VA deal, and after talking to the lender, realized, like Christine said, we went out, we were sanding the house, we were fixing steps, we were doing everything possible to make the deal just go through. and at the end of the day, you know, I had a rating bump, so very frustrating out there, but going above and beyond that.
Very similarly, I'm working with a great set of buyers with a fantastic budget. He's a young doctor, lots of student loans, we're using a physician's loan. So going through the process to get fully underwritten, really prepared, because in this market, we're dealing with a lot of cash buyers. So how do we compete when we don't have a lot of cash? So we're working through that process, and we're really close, I think, on a property that I'll hopefully hear about today. Here's Ross for me. We got some good feedback last night. So I think just again being honest and getting them pressed and making sure that they're ready to go.
Yeah, so I also have a deal right now that was pretty complicated. We had an FHA loan, and you know, most people in the area here are pretty hesitant to accept them when they have cash buyers and high down payments. So you know, we had to get really creative with our terms and you know, try to minimize as much as possible, but while still protecting the buyer. You know, like we do an inspection, but we do it for minimal purposes. We're not looking to ask for anything on our end, and then if the FHA comes back, you know, we're going to be as creative as possible to get it over the line. And you know, we like, you know, Eva was saying, my mom, you know, we talked about like painting and stuff like that, and figured out a way that we could get it done without having to, you know, slow the deal down. We took it as fast as possible and just made it happen and pay for it.
All right, last one, make it good. No pressure.
I would just say I try to minimize all speed bumps. Again, we are a non-attorney friendly state, which I think really helps in minimizing the speed bumps. So that's very helpful. And then also, like, in addition to me just being very transparent and honest, letting the people know, you know, I'm not going to buy this house. You know, if I'm not going to buy this house, I'm not going to let you move forward. I'm also the same way. Like I always say this, like newer agents or people joining the business, like I don't have commission for that. I always let my clients know, like, my life does not revolve around the sale. If you're for whatever reason getting cold feet, like it's okay. We can, you know, we can make adjustments here. Or if it's something I really believe that they need to be moving forward on, I express that very loudly as well.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Cole, let's do it. Oh, hey, hi. Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up, guys. We're going to kick off stage. Thank you, everyone. Go around the clock.